Hey everyone, Leo here, and I'm so excited to jump in and finally release the full 2-hour podcast episode with Oscar Ledlin. I just want to say massive thank you to Oscar for jumping on my show. It took me around 8 to 12 months to convince him to jump on. I know how hesitant he was, so I just want to thank him for finally making the decision to come on and share his journey. You guys are going to absolutely love it. Now, without further ado, let's jump into the episode.
Ready for me to kick this off?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Hello, everyone. Leo Alhalabi here, the host of the No Limits podcast. This is episode number 5, and I am joined by none other than Oscar Ledlin. I'm telling you guys, I'm so excited for this because no one has any idea or an understanding of just how much of a success this kid is. I got to meet Oscar a couple of years ago, and I've seen him on the rise, and I've seen what he's been able to do. And every time I sit down and I talk to him, my mind is blown and I'm inspired. And he's just the most humble person that I know as well. I don't know how you've stayed level-headed after all the success that you've had, but he's managed to do it. And I've been trying to get him on a podcast for a long time now. I think it's like 6 to 8 months in the making. And there are a lot of people that follow him that want him to jump on a podcast, want him to talk, want him to explain his story in more detail. And we're going to do that. I'm gonna ask him some questions, and he has given me the green light to ask about anything that I want. So I'm going to be asking about the downtimes. I'm going to be asking about the personal. I'm going to be asking about business.
Oof.
I'm going to be asking about money, about dollars, and you're going to be as transparent as you can with me.
I will.
Is that right?
I will be. Yeah.
All right.
That's it, brother. Let's do it.
I'm so excited to get started.
Oh, I'm nervous.
Let's just to kind of give you a quick introduction on Oscar. So Oscar is you're 26 or 27 right now?
Just turned 27.
Just turned 27 years old. For those of you who watch, the viewers who watch me, this is another reason why this is so important to me, because the viewers who watch me know that I've been working since I was 17 to a goal that I wanted to achieve by 25. And the goal that I wanted to achieve by 25 was, in terms of lifestyle, in terms of business, was a monetary goal too. You achieve that by that age. So you have done that. You have done exactly what it is that I'm chasing after. Except you're just not vocal about it on social media.
Got to be louder, you reckon?
Yeah, man, you're so quiet about it on social media, and that's why I've been bugging you to jump on a podcast where we can just talk freely, so that people can really see what it looks like when you're there. Because you know, I'm just trying to get there, but you're there as well. So I'm kind of talking to my future self, but I won't be as good looking. But hopefully the money.
You're making me blush in front of everyone.
Yeah. So to tell the viewers a little bit about the business that you run currently, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go back. We're going to be talking about the entire journey, and we're going to dive into it.
Yep. All right. So Ledlin Developments is a development company. We specialize in commercial only. We don't do any residential. So we do a lot of industrial, small industrial, large industrial. We have an office project on the go, a couple of retail projects coming up. So basically anything where somebody can operate a place of business pretty much is what gets me going. I want people to be excited to come to work, and if we can create a space that helps facilitate that being better than what is currently available, or a more affordable product than what is currently available, that's what we do.
Yeah.
That's our mission.
And you've grown this business from nothing to, what, is it this year or last year? Was it this year you guys are going to be turning over $50 million, was it?
So, yeah, I seen you put that on Instagram yesterday, and I was like, fuck, I better have a look at exactly what's going on here. Yeah. So I quickly run some numbers. We're going through the taxes now. From February to February, the group of companies will turn over just over 62. So it's a $50 million company. I don't know.
62 million.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at it. I just knew in my head it was roughly around that. Okay. And then when you said it, I was like, if Leo asked me this, I'm not going to lie. So I better do some numbers, and that's where I'm at, 62 for 12 and a half months. Yeah,
okay. So for those people, like when you're explaining what you guys do, someone who's in the property industry, that would actually understand everywhere that you said. For someone who's just kind of like just starting out or doesn't have a good idea of like how business actually works, for them, they'd want to know what you do in a more simpler term. So from my understanding, and you correct me where I'm wrong, before we jump into going back in the backstory, everyone needs to know who you are first and why they should actually, spend the next hour and a half or however long we talk listening. And I want them to see what I see in you as well. And that is a 27-year-old who's now running a company that's turning over $62 million a year. This isn't bullshit. This is 100% real. You've got a lot of people online that preach what they make and preach what they do, and they mess up. They put false figures out there. Oscar, how I know it is 100% true is because I've been grateful enough to actually he's brought me back and actually shown me certain things and proved certain things to me. So and also he doesn't share any of it online. He's always been trying to hold back just how well he's doing, which is crazy, but I can understand that logic, and we're going to dive into it. But for someone who doesn't have that complete understanding, from what I understand, is your business will find a certain land. You guys will purchase the land, and then you guys will build. So you also build the factories and the places where businesses can have office spaces and things of that nature, and then you guys sell. To the actual businesses.
So essentially development is purchasing the land and then having something designed to go on that land that the council and all the other regulatory bodies are going to be all right with. And then selling that for a profit. So the building of it is separate, but I also have a construction company, Ledlin Build, and Ledlin Build is contracted by my development company to build the projects.
So you're supporting yourself.
Yeah.
Well, if no one's going to support you.
Yeah, no one's going to do it for me.
You might as well support yourself. But obviously, it didn't start like that. It's not right now. You are in a position where it's as simple as I find a site, we purchase the site, we build on it, we get the plans and permits, we build on it, and then we sell. But it didn't start there. It didn't start there. So let's kind of go back to when it did start, which will start from leaving high school and what you did from there, just to kind of bring people up to scratch to what the last 10 years have looked like for you. So from 17 up to 27 now. So finished high school. What came after that?
Finished high school. Started a business degree. Finished high school. I skipped a year throughout high school. I finished when I was just turned 17. So I was 17 at uni. Couldn't do any of the introductory year parties or all that sort of shit. I missed out on.
I was 17 too, but I went to them
until I got a fake ID. Sorry, Mum.
I went to them. Man.
Yeah. So started a business degree. My father had a concrete company. So I worked for him as a concreter. I'd worked for him through high school a little bit, and while I was at uni, studied full time. I was working about 40 hours a week for him.
While at uni?
While at uni, studying full time. I had a mixture of the typical concreting, labouring works, and then he was starting to introduce me to the office side of the business, so accounts and bookkeeping and all that sort of stuff. Cash flow management, just in its most simple form. He was just sort of giving me a little bit of taste of that, and it related to some of my studies, so there was synergies there. It helped me learn quicker at uni, and then the uni work would help me learn quicker with him. And so I had a full-time position with him. I worked Sundays at in retail at garden supplies. So I'd be, maybe working on the loader a little bit, maybe in the hardware, selling some stuff and loading tiles and shit like that into people's cars. And I was boxing at the time. So I'd boxed when I was younger, boxed amateur through high school, and then started professional boxing when I was 18. And so I was training about 22, 25 hours a week. So I was studying full time, working 40 hours for my dad, a 10-hour Sunday, so 50 hours a week, and then training 20 hours a week. So I was busy.
Real busy. And that's how you've always, and even when you go and you watch that highlight video, which you did, let's just kind of talk about that exploded, because you got more views on that than you had followers, which is crazy. How many views has been on just on that the story? Reach now?
Just 8,500, I think.
Crazy. Yeah. More. And typically when you've got say 10,000 followers, you'll get maybe 1,000 viewers. Yours was the opposite.
I had 750 DMs from that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
750 DMs. I don't think I've even got that in.
Yeah. And you looked at that question box. I don't know how many questions there. There's a lot of questions there. Yeah.
And you were showing me, because I think I caught up with you, was it a couple of days after, or I can't remember, maybe it was the next, a couple of days after, and you were just going through just all the DMs that it was just insane. I was taking a look at it, but you know, for someone who isn't so prominent, like isn't pushing their social media, it just goes to show like how just how much people are actually still paying attention. So people have been waiting for you to come out and talk.
I got a lot of DMs saying, you know, I've been waiting to this because people kept messaging me, how'd you get started? And I'd say, I started in concreting, but I couldn't give a detailed explanation
Let's do it now.
Yeah, we'll do it right now.
You're 17, you graduated. So university, you looked like you were going to university. You were studying a finance degree. Was it?
Business. Yeah. So business economics. Mastered in management and HR.
Okay. What university was it?
Monash.
Yep. Okay.
The intention was to get a job.
Yep.
Finish uni, get a job, start working for somebody, get as much experience as I could.
Yep.
Over 7-10 years.
Yep.
I always wanted to not be my own boss, but I always wanted to do my own thing. So it wasn't about being able to tell anybody what to do or, have the day off if I wanted to. I just wanted to create something of my own. So it wasn't the typical drivers to being your own boss, knock off at 3 o'clock and sleep in and all that sort of shit. No, I wasn't interested in that. I just wanted to create something and have no boundaries to what I was creating. So, was studying, always had the intention of getting a job, and then was still working for my dad, and I was fighting and I was doing really well with the boxing.
I've seen your fights.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, mate, had some good fights.
There's some of these fights were like voted fights of the night, or like they got awards.
Yeah, got fight of the year award and stuff like that. Undercard fight of the year, main event fight of the year. Yeah, a couple of state titles. So.
If you guys want to actually go and pause this video and check out some of the fights, just see how legit what he's claiming is to be, like proper wars that you've had. I was in awe watching them because when you look at you, like you just don't expect it. Like I don't expect that.
Good surgeon, bro. No, I'm kidding.
Surgeon.
I'm kidding.
You just wouldn't expect that you would that you are like in your personality, but also you are such a talented boxer as well, and have actually went down that path. You've had the professional fights, you've had your fights, and these fights have been absolute wars. Shot professionally. It's just what haven't you done, man? So let's talk about that period of your life there.
So I was training a lot.
Yep.
Leading up in camps for fights, I was getting up before work, and when you think of concreters hours, I'm at work at 5:45, so I was getting up 4:20 doing a 10K run 4 mornings a week. So pretty much running a marathon a week in the morning. Night times, I'd go to work throughout the day, be it on the tools or in the office, depending on what I was doing on that particular day. And then off to the gym 5 nights a week to, the normal stuff, the normal bag work, pad work, or drills, all the sort of typical boxing staples, a lot of skipping. And then on a Saturday, would go out anywhere around Victoria to other gyms for competitive sparring, just to help with the training. So training a lot, working super hard. I was also learning to trade shares on the side. So I don't trade a lot anymore. I make probably 3, 4, maybe 5 trades a year, just because I want to focus on my business. But I was sort of learning that as well, and started getting towards the end of my uni degree. Started thinking, I don't know if I want to work for somebody else. I didn't feel like I was finding a corporate fit. I'm not sure why, but I think I did like some intern stuff, and I was living on the peninsula and then catching the train into the city, and I was like, fuck, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if I want to do this. But I thought, it's a means to an end, so I'll keep pursuing that. And had a conversation with my old man, and he was like, listen, if you want to come and work for me, I already had a full-time role, but step it up. He was sort of looking to step back a little bit, so there'd be, opportunity there. Do you want to come work for me? And I said, yeah, all right. I'll do that, but it's only short term. He said, yeah, all right, let's do it. Sort of got real close to the end of my degree and sort of started finding an interest in property development. I was, meeting some super small time developers, but the builders that we were working for, they were doing some of their own little developments and stuff like that. So I just started having a chat to them.
So it's just a natural thing that you just found yourself interested in.
Yeah. It wasn't planned. It just was sort of somewhat of an opportunity.
What was it that appealed? Like, was it when you heard like a certain, you heard a builder sold and made $100,000 and you're like, oh, is that what caught your attention, or was it just the process of actually finding a place, building on it? What was it that drew you to it?
I think it was the creative process.
Okay.
You know, these builders, at the time I was 18, 19 years old working for them. They weren't interested in telling me how much money they were making or anything like that.
Fair
But
enough, yeah.
I could just see, you know, would show up and would be almost the first on site being the concreters, and it'd be a blank site. And then we would go off and the builder and developer would do their thing, and we would come back to put, you know, the footpath, the crossover and the driveway in at the end when the landscaping's going in. I'd be like, fuck, I was here 9 months ago and this was a block of dirt. Now look at it, you know, it's 3 stories. And like, I just was sort of a little bit inspired by that creativity and producing something that, you know, someone's got a vision for, and they go through this whole process, and then the outcome, be it sometimes 2 years later, is a total transformation. So I think that appealed to me, which just sparked a little bit of an interest. And from there, that interest, I started reading a couple of books, and then...
What books did you read?
I read 0 to 100 Homes, which was a popular book 15 years ago, which was more just on the property market, not development. Then I read...
So it's not relevant right now. The reason I'm asking you about the specific books is because I'm trying to like put myself in the mind of someone who's watching right now.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, if you can give them that resource that kind of got you started or educated,
Of course.
it would be good as well.
Yeah. I wouldn't read that. I'd read An Australian Guide to Property Development. It's rather general, but I mean, it's almost a textbook. And development is such a in-depth, like such a complex industry, but I think that's a good place to start to see, you know, you just get a bit more of an understanding of what's involved. And
What was the book's name?
An Australian Guide to Property
An
Development.
Australian Guide. So it's probably available online or something.
Yep. And I mentioned it to somebody a few weeks ago, and they just last week sent me a screenshot of the new version back. So there's a new version out now, not the one that I had 10 years ago. So I'm sure it's much better. But yeah, so that interest started, like, it sparked something, and then I just started educating myself, and then I started giving it some more thought, and I started mentioning it to my dad, and he's like, yeah, sounds all right. And right at the end of my degree, I finished, end of 2013, I finished fighting, which was when I was finishing my degree. And that was sort of, it was like, I want to do something now and I want to commit to it. So I don't want any other distractions. So, you know, I gave up hobbies that I had. I don't know if you've seen recently, I was in Hawaii and I surfed for the first time in 10 years.
Oh, yeah. So you surfed before?
I surfed before, yeah. Yeah. When I was young, I surfed competitively. And then I gave...
That story was you surfing?
That story was me on Instagram.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, really? That was shot from far away, right?
Yeah.
I thought you were recording someone.
No.
You got that?
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, okay.
Not what it used to be, but I can still stand up.
Cool.
Yeah, so I gave up everything that was sort of a distraction. I had a real interest in cars, had a nice car and sold that. I actually swapped it for a considerably lesser value car, but just something that would get me from A to V without distractions. You know, I had an S14 Silvia, and I'd go out and I'd get defected for the car being too low, too loud, wheels too wide, all the normal stuff. And then I'd spend the next 2 weeks trying to, you know, I got to get to the mechanic, I got to eat here, I got to change wheels. And it was just a distraction.
Yeah.
Got rid of the car. So the last thing to go was boxing. So got rid of that. You're about to jump in and say something else anyway.
No.
All right. Yeah, so all the distractions are gone. I'm like, I'm going to do property development. I'd saved nearly 50 grand throughout uni, working, fighting, all that sort of stuff. And because I still ran a lot, I decided to start running the streets, and I was just scoping development sites. You know, I was running my neighborhood, and then the next day I'd do my 10Ks the other way. And I'd be looking what other people are doing and just trying to get an idea. And, you know, 3 months later I'd run back past and see, oh, that's sold, this hasn't sold, what's going on there? And I found a little duplex site, had a house on it, was perfect, could put a tenant in it, cut the backyard off, already had a second crossover. It was just seemed so easy. So I was like, oh, I'm going to do it. You know, the block was, I think it might have been 220 grand or something like that. Like, it was cheap, and banks were throwing money around at the time. Like, you needed a tiny deposit for that. I was like, I can make this work. So I spoke to the real estate agent and started, you know, just sort of doing some rough sketches of where I'd subdivide it, trying to make some inquiries. I had no idea what I was doing, just making it up. Yeah. And I just developed this belief in myself that I could do it. Even though I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, fuck, this is it. I'm just going to, this is my first development.
Yeah. How old are you?
I might have
21?
been 21. Yeah, 21. Yep. So I was like, that's it, I'm done. I told the real estate agent, I'm like, I'm going to buy it, go into the bank. And he's like, yep, no worries. Rolled into the bank and 50 grand in my account, just feeling like the man. And
that's pretty solid. By
yeah. I was super. I was really impressed. Bank manager wasn't. She crushed me.
Yeah. What was it? It was no, your income doesn't matter. Your serviceability, you can't service the loan.
Yeah, you can't service the loan.
And then it was like denied. Fuck you,
Susan. Fuck you, Susan.
Yes, fuck you, Susan.
I should have changed her story. I should have changed her name. No, I did change her name. So I sat down. I told she's like, oh, the house is 220 grand. You got to need about $30,000 to buy this place, stamp duty, blah blah blah. If I had it in cash, I would have slapped it on the desk. That's how good I felt about buying this place. I'm like, I got 50 grand, no worries. And she's like, oh, where'd that 50 grand come from? I was like, oh, I've been saving forever. And she's like, oh, you need to show serviceability. And I had no idea what serviceability was. Okay, and she's like, oh, you need to show how you got the money. I'm like, check my account, it's there. And she's like, no, I know that you've got the money, but you need to show that it's going to consistently be coming in. And given that, my work was really sporadic, I would work, 5 days one week, 3 days the next. If I had exams and if I had a fight, then the work would drop back. And then, fighting was 100% declared and tax paid cash money. So, there was some issues there. And she's like, basically, you need to show that you can continue making money to pay the loan. I was like, oh, this is fucked. So I walked out of there. And I'm like, she's just not for me, this bank manager. So I went away.
Like you went on a day and like, nah, not for me.
Not for me. You'll find someone. And so I left and I was like, oh, I got to think of another way. And I don't even think I'd got home yet. And I was like, I'll just register a business. Like,
what genius idea?
Exactly right. So I registered it online. I think it might have been the next day or maybe 2 days later. I rolled back in there, like, give me the business banking manager this time because I got a business now. Yeah. And obviously 2-day-old company, just no one's going to loan it money.
It was like, I remember from the story, it's like 2 days old, no trading, no money. But you thought, like, honestly, and this is good. It's like you thought, I register a business, I now have an ABN. Yeah. Banks would just give me the money. Honestly, you thought that.
I'm a credible businessman.
Yeah, okay.
Look at this. I got a little certificate, registration of business. Yeah. So, no luck. She didn't. I don't know why she didn't vibe it. Okay. So I was like, "Fuck, I'm done."
I don't know what she was thinking. Yeah,
I'm done. I'm like, all right. What can I do now? And I'm like, I got to show serviceability. So I asked the bank manager. I'm like, how much money do I need to make? Like, how quickly can I show serviceability? I'm like, I'll go find someone who'll lend me 50 grand. I'll transfer it into my account and say, look, I made 50 grand last month.
Yeah.
She's like, no, that's not going to work. So I was trying all this sort of Hail Mary type stuff. But when I look back on it now, it was just pathetic. But at the time, I didn't know any better. So I was having a chat to my dad. He's like, oh, how'd you go with that house? I'm like, no luck, can't get finance. And he's like, oh, what do you need? I'm like, oh, they said I need a guarantor for the loan. They asked if you'd go guarantor, and I told them, no, I don't want to do that. This isn't my home. I don't want my dad to guarantee it. This is business. I want to do it right. And he's like, oh, what about if we partnered up? And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. And he's like, but if we're going to do that, you've got to do something commercial because anything commercial has a considerable amount of concrete, and he has a concrete company, so it made sense. I'm like, all right, now.
Wait,
now
why so it just means that what?
There was business in it for him.
Okay.
He could pour the concrete.
Gotcha.
So, and I think I could get the concrete cheaper. So it sort of, it made sense.
Makes the bill cheaper for you.
Yeah, exactly right. And so we nothing happened straight away because the block that I had my heart set on wasn't commercial, so we weren't going to do it. So then we started having a look around, and I'm like, oh, what if we do this? We looked at a little site. I'm like, what if we do that? He's like, nah. We're trying to learn and he was trying to build some confidence as well. Like he hadn't planned to do this. He hadn't done it before. He'd been doing the same thing, running the same concrete company. He had employees that had been there for 25 years, the same employees. He was just, he'd settled in. He had a good business. He had a comfortable lifestyle. He was just, he wasn't ready to go and try something brand new. But I was pushing him, he was a resource now. He was my partner. So I found a site and I needed a 40 grand deposit to secure it. And I had my 50 grand and Dad had the serviceability side of it covered. So I made some inquiries on the site, found out that it was unsubdividable. So somebody had bought it before me. They'd gone bankrupt on it. Somebody had bought it off the bank and now they had terminal cancer. And they'd given up on it because it was just, apparently it was unsubdividable. There were some issues with the sewer and stormwater connections. Couldn't be done. It was good for a farm. And I was like, oh, surely not. Like, this is prime land. I reckon I could make something of this.
Yep.
So I spoke to some consultants. No, it's unsubdividable. Spoke to a drainage engineer. Can't do it. And I don't know why, but I had my heart set on this block now. And I was like, explain to me why. And they said basically what it comes down to, the stormwater drain running across the front, it's too high. You can't get fallout into it. And I was like, oh, how do you know it's too high? And they're like, oh, we have the Melbourne water drainage levels here. And I was like, oh, okay. And I'm like, is it close? And they're like, it's close, but it's not going to work. I'm like, all right. So I went off and then I thought, fuck, what if the drainage levels weren't accurate? And
or who thinks like that?
I don't know. Somebody who's just trying to find. So I still do it now.
Trying to find.
Yeah, trying to
way.
find. Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. What if they're wrong? What if Melbourne Water's wrong? They're like, no, it's not. And I said, all right. Well, wouldn't hurt to double check. My drainage consultant's like, it is a crime to lift a Melbourne Water owned asset. And I'm like, all right, that's fine. I went into my local plumbing supplies joint and I'm like, oh, I need to buy a pit lid lifter. Like, what do you need one of them for? Fuck. Oh, I'm not sure. The boss asked for it. He's like, oh, all right, here you go. So he gave me one of these Melbourne Water. They got like a little hook on them to lift the lids up. So I got one of my dad's trucks, drove it down the street, parked it out the front, some little witches' hats and cones, had my uniform on, all my high vis. I'm just lifting these lids. Got my laser. I just shot the depth. And it was fuckloads deep. And I'm like, this block, people had gone bankrupt on this site because these drains were too shallow and they weren't too shallow. And I was like, what? And, I'm telling my dad, I'm like, these drains, something's not adding up here. And then we clued on that like maybe we've found something that no one else has. So yeah, we paid the deposit on the land and that secured the block for us for 6 months. We could do whatever we wanted to the block for 6 months. If we found out that it wasn't developable, we could give it back. And the owner was fine with that because he had no other options. He had bought this block that there was nothing to do with it. It had just been sitting there. So he was fine with that. And went back and seen the consultants and told him, I said, oh, what if the levels were like this? And he's like, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. I've got levels here. And then I pretty much, he was a real straight shooter, this guy. I'm like, oh, I've found out the levels aren't that, they're this. And he's like, all right, now whoever has these levels needs to get us the remaining pit levels and we'll plot them and see if we can make it work. And we did that. We shot the levels. We worked back and forth with the consultants and it was fine to be subdivided. And that block of land, when we got subdivision permission from the council, it doubled in value before we'd even settled on the land. Because
wow.
people, and it doubled and more. Like, so
how much you buy it for?
Bought it for 800 grand. Spent a couple $100,000 on the drainage and stuff and the design, and then the bank valued at 2.4.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this was like the first thing, and then it was like, kind of was like one of those overnight things.
Yeah,
but
exactly
it wasn't
right.
Overnight.
Yeah, and we didn't have a lot of cash, so the block was 800 grand. And I was like, when I was negotiating, I'm like, I can only put down a 5% deposit. 40 grand done. And then once we got the development approval before we had to settle on it, and then got the bank fell out, and they're like, yeah, we'll give you as much money as you want. The asset's worth 2.4 million. And then they just lent me heaps more money. And I was like, bang, now I'm ready to start building on it.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, no, you can't do that. And I was like, what do you mean I can't do that? They're like, oh, you're not a developer. I'm like, fuck this again.
Yeah.
And so then they wouldn't let me construction funds. So I had a little bit of money, started construction, And then I was like, oh, another bank will lend me construction funds. So I went to another bank. Like, you got a builder's license? I'm like, no. They're like, show us your development resume. Like, what the fuck's a development resume? They just show us, your last 3 or 4 projects. I was like, oh, I haven't, this is the first one. They're like, no, we won't lend you money. So nobody would lend me money. So pretty much we'd sold, we're building 5 units, 5 industrial units, 5 warehouses.
Yep.
And had sold all 5 off the plan, and got about halfway through construction, and had just no one would lend us the rest of the money.
They ran out of money?
Ran out of money, bro. Ran out of money. Like, was done. I was like, oh, fuck. All right. So extended some accounts because I was managing the accounts with my old man's company. So we would get paid by the builder, and then we would have to pay our suppliers. So I stretched our suppliers out. I was like, oh, can we pay you next month? So then I'd get the money off the builder, and then I started using that money, which is highly risky, but it was sort of like a do or die type of moment, and then ran out of that money. And then my dad had some money in super, as all 50-year-old men do. And I was like, fuck, I'll use that. Like, no, you can't use your super to develop. And I was like, you know what the alternative is? We're using the super. So I probably shouldn't explain like too much about using the super, because it's it's all been ordered and stuff like that, and I got a warning, so I'm not going to get in trouble for it. But I just don't think it's the right thing to do. But pretty much, he had self-managed super.
No, we'll skip past that. But took
his super.
You got what you needed.
Yeah, got what I needed. Spent that to finish the build.
Yep.
Spent every last cent, maxed every credit card, and then they were finished. And we had about 6 weeks for subdivision, titles, settlement, and all that sort of stuff. And actually had no money. And it was hilarious. I remember it like it was yesterday. We were breakfast, bro. Breakfast. Dad and I are going out for breakfast, and we go to pay for it and put it on the credit card. Like, you got any cash? He's like, oh yeah, I got $50. I'm like, pay for breakfast. He's like, yeah. He's like, are we all right? Yes, Dad, we're fine. Fucking hell, relax. What are you stressing about? Had no more money. That was it. That was done.
Your dad had just trusted.
Yeah.
He just trusted you.
Yeah, he had like, he was, it wasn't like he was overseas. Like, he was seeing what I was doing. Yeah. But he trusted that that we're going to come through, and we did. And then they settled. The money started coming back in, and we paid everyone.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So
talk about that check.
So the check come in, and I was like, oh, like, I've never seen this much money in my life. I'm like, Dad, take a photo. Take a photo. I got a photo on my phone of me holding this little check, and so then there were still trades that had done work and hadn't been paid. So I paid them. Then the money that I'd taken from Dad's company, quickly put that back in.
Yep.
Dad's super. Fuck, better put that back in before anyone sees. And then Dad, because Dad had chucked some money in as well when things got tough. So everybody was paid back. There was these 5 warehouses were finished, and new owners had moved in, and I had a little bit of money to keep going with the next 5. Yeah. And did the next 5, and then
stand the mic around this way.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, like that. Yeah, keep going.
You want to choose some food?
Oh, that sounds much better. Yeah, choose some food if you like. Yeah.
So did the next 5, and then 5 after that, and then the next site we did 10. Did another 10, and then we moved into 20 lot sites, and now we got a site which we could build about 90 units on that. Yeah, so that's a big site. That's that's almost a $60 million project. So yeah, it's sort of that first struggle. It wasn't the only struggle. Like there's some huge sort of some really similar stories, slightly different, but when one thing doesn't go your way and you feel like, fuck, that's it. But then, oh, what if we try this? And then eventually you overcome it. But those first 5 units, they just sort of got the ball rolling and started learning more, started getting taken a little bit more serious. And then, it just grew from there.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's it.
Wow.
We done?
No, we're not, man. No, we're not.
Oh,
what
fuck.
you've done is you've done a great job of like explaining pretty much like in detail the start, which I think a lot of people who watch, and even me just listening, like just to know that it just didn't happen. You know what I mean? There was there was a story behind it and like a real big struggle before the success came, right? And then after that, you continue to go through struggles, but you were dealing with different problems
100%
throughout the way.
Yeah.
And you're dealing with problems that you deal with when you are at a certain level of success. So the thing that changed was the problems don't go away, just the quality of the problems differ. So they stay there, but the quality of problems would differ.
Yeah.
I don't think you have much of a problem getting what you need from banks now.
No,
right?
No,
or you don't have much of a problem getting money from anyone, because I know that the way your business is structured now is if you're so trusted in your field that if you wanted $2-3 million, you wouldn't just be able to get that from the bank. People would give you that money, right? In cash. So I think that's just something right where you are right now is you're still facing problems. It's just that the quality of problems are different. So let's kind of go back a little bit to that phase, right? Where I want you to kind of talk more in detail about what you were feeling, the emotions that you were experiencing, the amount of hours that you were actually putting in, and what you were going through that phase. So that project started at 21.
Yep. And
when did it end?
It was staged. So there was project among project and stuff like that. But those first 5, 2000, I would have been 23, I think. Yeah, 23 when that ended.
So that you went through like that 2 years of just like chaos.
Right? Absolute manic chaos. Yeah.
And that's the image I want to paint is like, okay, you've painted the image of what you did really well, but also on the back of
you want to feel it.
I want to feel like what did that look like? What were your weeks? What was your day? What did you do? How did you feel? So talk to me about the amount of hours that you were putting in throughout that week or for those 2 years.
So that project really kicked off after I finished uni.
Okay.
So I'd finished uni and I'd finished boxing. So like I said, those distractions were gone.
Yeah.
And I just committed myself to work. So I was still working for my dad's company was still going. I was still working for him. For 6 days a week, I would work from 4:30 till 6:30 religiously. Like that was it.
So you'd wait. So 4:30 in the morning.
4:30 a.m. I would unlock the gate, open the gate up because the boys would be there at 6. I'd go into the office and I would start work. And then if I was on the tools, I'd go out on the tools and I'd come back and then I'd be in the office and I wouldn't leave work before 6:30. Sometimes I'd be there till 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, whatever. But I was religiously 4:30 till 6:30, Monday to Saturday. I just, even if I didn't know exactly what I had to do or if I didn't have something that needed to be done, doesn't matter. Like I'm just
build that habit.
I'm committed.
Why'd you choose 4:30?
It just become the time. Yeah, I don't know why. I chose till 6:30 so I could be home by 7. I had a girlfriend at the time and she wouldn't see me. I'd be gone before she woke up, and if I wasn't home till 10 o'clock at night, she'd be in bed. So if I got home at 6:30, have a shower, have dinner, at least I got to spend half an hour awake, because then I'd be falling asleep again to get up and go to work at 4:30 the next morning.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just, the hours that I was putting in the office that sort of consumed me. It was the whole commitment. Like I didn't care. If someone was like, "Oh, you want to go away for the weekend?" No, I don't want to go away for the week. I don't want to go away for the night. You want to come out tonight? No, I'm going to get up at 4:30 and go to work in the morning. I was just so committed to making this work that I wasn't going to be distracted by anything. Family birthdays. No, I don't want to go. Barbecue on a Sunday afternoon. What time? 2 o'clock. No, I'll be in the office. Don't you want to come? Not as much as I want to make this work. So if, we'd be having a conversation and I'd be thinking about, how am I going to get this money off the bank? Like I was just completely consumed by it. And I think it got to a point sort of right before the momentum started getting going, and there was some money started coming back in and I could breathe a little again. Right before that, I think it went past a point of, if I had control over that obsession, I would pull back on it. It just got too much. People assumed I was depressed. I wasn't depressed. Like I was obsessed. I was just really committed. People, I want to help you be happy again. Like fuck off. I'm happy. Like I'll get this shit done, and then you'll see I'll be happy.
Yeah.
And people they started getting concerned.
Who's people?
People. So pretty much my girlfriend at the time. Yeah. I got dragged away on a family holiday with her and her family and stuff like that. And I'd take off. Like we'd be in the hut and I'd just go. I'll be on the phone. I'll be making calls. You know, I remember walking up the beach, up the coast somewhere. I was walking up the beach and I had a quote for roller doors for 65 grand, and I was like, I'm going to spend the next 2 hours knocking 5 grand off this price. Like, I'm just going to do it. And like on the phone to this guy, Roy, his name is, I was, that was a too dear. I'd hang up on him. He'd call me back, I'd ignore it. 5 minutes later, he'd call me back, and I was like, I was just on the phone to the other supplier, seeing if they can do it cheaper. Okay, you got it. Just completely, that could have waited. That could have waited the week that I was away, or they were away for a week. They drove up, I flew up because I only wanted to be there for 3 nights. And I just couldn't, I don't know if I couldn't or if I didn't want to, but I just wasn't switching off. So that must have been really hard for the people closest to me. My relationship with my older brother, that suffered a little bit. He was off doing his own thing. I was focused on doing my thing. My relationship with my mother probably suffered a little bit from that. But my relationship with my father couldn't have been better because, I was just so obsessed with work, and, he was working a lot too. So, and I was of course living at home with him.
Yeah.
My parents were separated. So, my relationship with my girlfriend at the time, it fell apart. I remember one day I was driving along and she was like, what if you don't get what you want? And I was like, fuck you talking about? She's like, you're so, you want this, you want that. She's like, what if you don't get it? And I just couldn't understand what she was. I'm like, what do you mean if I don't get it?
Yeah.
And looking back now, I just laugh, and I was like, I just was so, I didn't know when, I didn't know how, but I was just so sure that I was going to get what I wanted. And she didn't believe that. And I think that's where a lot of the relationship broke down as well, because I would always say, don't worry about it. Like, just give me 2 years. I'll get the shit out of the way, and then I'll be set up. Things will be nicer, And I think that 2 years that I speak of, when I did it tough for 2 years, she lasted about 21 months, and then the relationship fell apart and we broke up. And about 3 months later, money started coming in. I remember my mates just like taking the piss. I'd be like, fuck, all the shit she put up with. And then 3 months later, I buy a supercar, I move to a new suburb. I'm like, buying fancy shit, eating out. Like, just, I went a little bit wild, not wild, but like I hadn't had money for so long. I was like, fuck, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go on holidays, whatever. I'm going to go out, I'm going to party, I'm going to do all that sort of shit. So, I look back and I feel like I probably could have reined it in a little bit with the work. If I could tap on my shoulder, 5 years ago and say, work 70, 80 hours a week is fine. Yeah. You don't have to work 100 hours a week every week. Take the weekend off every once a month. So that was sort of, I've had a couple of those messages, people saying, if you could go back and tell yourself anything. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to just ignore that.
That's all good.
If I could go back and tell myself something, be like, listen, you can be committed, you can be driven, but you don't have to be obsessed. So
okay,
yeah, that's it.
See, I think even on the topic of an ex-girlfriend or the ex-girlfriend that was like kind of there, but then didn't last and all that sort of stuff. I feel like sometimes that can also be taken in the wrong way. It's people who are on a particular journey. It's not anyone's responsibility in our lives to handle us.
No, 100%.
It's not anyone's responsibility. Like that's also another thing as well. It's just like it's not made for everyone. Like this particular, it's just not made for everyone. Like I've experienced that as well, where I've went into deep obsession for a long time, and I've seen my relationship. I'm really close to my family, but naturally it suffers because you don't spend time with them. And then like with your like little siblings and stuff, like there's just no longer that. The conversations like come home and it's like, hey, how was your day? Good. But and then
something's got to give when you're so committed to something.
Exactly.
Your fitness, your relationships, whatever.
And that's it. But also you have to I try to remind myself that I can't get frustrated at my parents if they're like, I miss you. Like my parents, my mom, I miss you. Like my dad would be like, we want to see you. And I'll come home and my dad would be like, I want to see you smiling.
Yeah.
Because I come home after working for so long and then I'll come home with a down face and I'm not upset. I'm just thinking, I'm right now, I'm just like thinking, how can I make it happen for you guys? And I think it's important for anyone who's watching as well, is like, don't look at those people around you as like, oh, they're just not, like supporting or anything. No, it's just like that's not their responsibility. It's not their responsibility to understand. Some people will last throughout the journey and some people won't. But if you can choose, try to support someone who you believe in. You know what I mean?
100%, man. And that's something when I put that Instagram story up and like there was one little tiny small font in there, something about like my girlfriend didn't stick with me or whatever.
Yeah.
And out of the 650, 750, whatever there was, DMs, there was 2 or 3 people that were like, why are you so negative towards your ex-girlfriend? And I felt horrible because they completely misunderstood what I wasn't even trying to make a point, but they completely misunderstood my perception on the whole thing. I'm not bitter at her, and like I don't think she did the wrong thing for not hanging in there. Fuck, I was boring. Like I wasn't there. When I was there, I was boring. I'm 22 years old. People going out partying, dancing, all that sort of stuff. I was like, no, I don't do that. I want to be at home. Like I wouldn't have hung out with me. Fuck that. So I think people misunderstood that, and I think you're right. If you have people that want to be around you, you need to consider that. But also you don't owe anyone shit too. I mean, your family's different, but do what makes you happy.
That's as well. I think something like growing up with like my parents. Both my parents grew up on this idea that it was all about the kids, and so I saw my mum and my dad pretty much sacrifice a lot of their life. And that means sacrificing business opportunities, making more money, going on holidays, attending certain events because it's about the kids.
Yeah.
But growing up, then I'm starting to realize that if you had just paid more attention to yourself, like my parents, like thankfully everything is all good, but the point I'm trying to make to them is like me going out there and living this obsession, and like you went out there and like you focus, you're not doing that, and it's not hurting you, because if you're happy, if the way I can be my best self to my family is if I go out there and I live my purpose, and that purpose may take me away from you guys for a short period of time. But if you don't allow me to, if you nag me while I'm trying to take care of my shit, and then like you make this process hard for me, you know what I mean? Like I'm going, and then I don't end up doing it, I'm going to be in a worse off position as a son. Yeah. I'm going to be in a worse off position as a boyfriend. I'm going to be worse off position.
There might be resentment there.
There'll be resentment. There's going to be, I'm going to be unhappy I didn't live up my purpose. So a message to anyone who's like kind of considering a relationship or family or close friends, whatever it may be, the way you're going to give them don't change your perspective. Don't also just think like, you don't know anyone anything, but also think, if I want to give them the best version of myself, I've got to go out there and live my purpose. You have to go out there and you've got to do it. You've got to actually take action on what it is that you want to achieve. So talk to me about after that money started to come in, right? And you're at 23 right now, and that money started to come in and you started to have this first taste at making money. And now you are in a position where you can kind of hit and buy those things that a lot of us are working towards, whether it's a nice car, whether it's being able to move into a nice home, or just be in a position where you're like, I can take a holiday to wherever I want right now. Like that's sometimes what we work towards. When that came in, and when you were in that financial position, was it at 23 or was it after that?
It would have been after that. So at 23, the money started coming in, but from a business sense, so like the pressure was off. I didn't have people chasing me for money. Okay. I didn't have, the fear of losing everything over my head. That was gone. And that was a relief. That wasn't like, fuck yes, let's go out and buy Rolex. It wasn't anything like that. It was like, what you can start to relax a little bit again. So, that point, that was life-changing for me. And it took me, I would say, about 6 months to really accustom to it, because for 2 years, I was completely absorbed. Once that pressure was off, it took me about 6 months to just start relaxing a little bit, to let go of that sort of underlying anxiety, the question of, what if it doesn't work? What if I have dragged my dad into this and it fucks up? What if I've lost his money? I've lost his super? All that sort of stuff was gone. and the underlying feeling of like the little bit of self-doubt took about 6 months to sort of work through that. And then I was just sort of, I'm going to make it. But the next goal from that was, because at this time, my dad still had his concrete company, right? And I was still working for him. The development was only a part-time thing. So the next goal was to become a full-time developer. And that is a huge step in itself. Development, it can be, you buy the block of land, you might get money back on it in 2 years' time. So the cash flow management, without having a consistent income from somewhere else, it's huge. I think 95% of developers only do it part-time. One of my mentors told me once, I think he said 97% of developers declare bankruptcy at some point or other throughout their life. So, but that wasn't going to stop me. I wanted to be a full-time developer. I didn't want to be a concreter that was doing
So it wasn't really at
side.
23 where you were personally wealthy. It was just that you just had kind of now you're in a position where you could really start to go up. At what point? So at what point where was it that you were like, I'm good now? Like Oscar is good, not just from a business standpoint, where you're like, whoa, like I'm personally money starting to hit my personal account, and I'm in that position.
Not until recently, man. I don't know. Like
really?
what's well off? Yeah, I don't know. I'm still grinding. I'm still grinding.
I know you are, but like I'll give you an idea of what well off is. Well off is I can buy any car that I really want right now. Like I can buy the car that I want, not a cheaper version of it. Like if I want that M4, like I can get that M4 if I want to. Hey, do you want to go on a holiday? Yeah, I don't have to think about it from a financial point of view. It's from a time point of view. It's like I can just go on any holiday and it doesn't affect me right now. It's fine. And I can kind of maybe afford to pay rent or buy where it is that I want to live.
Yeah.
That's to me. And also don't have to consider the left side of the menu when it comes to, or the right side of the menu when it's food. Like just can go out and eat whenever you want. You're not thinking about the normal expenses of like, oh, should I go out this weekend and spend some money?
Yeah.
I'm in a position where it's like, I could spend and I'm fine. Like that's what I mean. When did that happen?
I think 25.
25.
Yeah,
okay.
25.
So that's good. That's inspiring because it wasn't. That was a hard yards put in from 17 to 25. This wasn't like a year thing or 2 year thing. It's not. This was an 8 year thing that you put in before it really started to kick off.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, when you say that, I don't want people to think that I'm sitting on the beach sipping pina coladas making money. You know what I mean?
No.
I think passive income is super overrated. I think that to make serious money, you have to work for it.
100%.
But yeah, so I guess financial freedom, if I wanted to pack things up, have the next 10 years off and not have to change my lifestyle, I think that would have been about 25. Had some, projects finishing up, I kept some property, started building a portfolio of myself, getting commercial tenants in there, paying rent. That was 25. That was
25.
Yeah. So
how did it feel when you got when did you get your GDR?
24.
24. Okay. Yep. How did it feel when you got that?
Oh, it was trying to get insurance in a GDR under 25 years old. Impossible. But when I got that, that was just a game changer for me. I was like, fuck, I've made it. It's not a Lambo, it's not a Ferrari, it's a GDR. But when I bought that GDR, I felt like the man. I'd been driving a piece of shit for so long. And
if you haven't seen the car that Oscar used to drive, go to his Instagram at Oscar Ledlin. Go to chapter 1, the highlight, and then just kind of skip through for a little bit, and you've got a photo of your car. The car.
I think it was a 1994.
It had
Volkswagen
like different
Golf.
Colored.
Yeah, blue panels, green panels. That was cool. Yeah, it was nice.
You said in that story that still the best car that you've driven.
100%.
But why, man?
Oh, that car had so much character, and now looking back, and then when I put that photo up, people are like, oh, fuck, I remember that. I remember you bouncing around in that car. And like I had probably not a good car, but I had nicer cars before that, but I'd got rid of them,
So you downgraded. How do you even mentally do that, man? Like, how do you go from nice cars to to driving something?
Obsession, just commitment to what I wanted. I knew it'd be all worth it at the end. There wasn't this, if I don't make it, I better hold on to something nice in case, fucking all in. And then, so going from that, and then...
Do you remember picking up your GDR?
Yep.
What'd you feel?
Oh, bro, it was insane. It was absolutely, because I bought it from Sydney. So me and one of my best mates, I'm like, we're going to Sydney. We flew up and we picked it up in Sydney, and it was just tearing around Sydney, and just like I didn't sleep the entire night, and then we drove it home the next day. I was just it was ecstatic.
The sound,
yeah, the sound,
just...
and the whole experience. Even like when I went up to have a look at it, the guy picked me up from the airport, and he's like, he's looking around for someone who must be about 50 years old or whatever. I'm like, hey, just the whole experience was incredible.
Wow.
And I didn't get it and then change my profile picture on Facebook or post it on Instagram or anything like that. I had people drive past me and be like, I get a call. Whose car's that? Because I'd been so quiet for so long. Nobody had seen me for 2 years.
You still are quiet. You still are quiet. Like for what you could be putting up, you are so quiet. It's ridiculous. And I'm shy. I remember having look, it's a mixture of a lot of things. Like, first of all, putting up and growing your social profile in your industry, I don't see how there's a lot of ROI. You know what I mean? In my industry, it's different. Right? My business is in a digital marketing space. If I'm out there talking, the more people who know me, everyone's got a business. We could potentially take on a lot of work. I've leveraged social media for that, so it's important for me to post up content. Mm-hmm. But for you, you're just like being so humble, accompanied with maybe that pushing social branding isn't like a massive thing for your industry. Has never really given you a need to put it up there, but it also exists in your personal life. I remember once you told me a conversation of how you were at a party of some sorts, and this guy came up to you with his girlfriend or something, and were having a chat, and then he asked what you did, or someone asked what you did, and you for a period of time you didn't tell people what you did. Really, like you wouldn't say what you did, you'd hide it. You would say like, "Oh, I just work for my dad," or I'm in concreting. Yep. This after you had made it and you had the GD, but why? Tell me why that exists. So you want to hurt people's feelings?
So it's funny, that story. I remember, you come up, what do you do? I'm a concreter. My girlfriend's, you haven't concreted a day in fucking 3 years. Like, you're not a concreter. You're actually lying. We had a conversation afterwards. You're actually lying to people now, Oscar, when you tell them you're a concreter. Like, what is this fear you have of telling people what you actually do? And for me, it comes from like, I read about it and I see it with other people, they look on Instagram, they'll see someone with a nice car, a nice watch, partying and stuff like that. And they have this negative feeling from it. I feel a lot of people will see somebody doing well, they'll see their successes and basically see their happiness, and they'll be uninspired by it. And for me, happens, that's probably one of the reasons, or the biggest reason why I'm so hesitant to post on social media. And even in real life, like exposing myself more or showing myself more in real life, is because I just have this fear that someone's going to look at me and they're going to feel inferior about themselves because of some perception of me. I'll out for breakfast and be walking back I'll have my GDR parked, I'll be walking back to it, and there'll be this guy, 40 years old, I'll overhear him, he's telling his girlfriend one day he wants to buy one of these, blah, 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 and I'm 25 years old with my trackies on and my man bag, and I hit the button and jump in, and I see him look, and his girlfriend looks at him, and I can just feel that he feels this sense of shame. He's just talked this car up, and now he wants to buy one when he makes it. And this 25-year-old kid, I can just feel that that was a negative experience for him. And I'm like, fuck, next time I'll park around the corner, or I just have this horrible feeling that if I'm too, not loud, but if I'm too prominent with my success, people will have a negative reaction to it. Not a negative reaction to me. I couldn't care less, and I honestly don't get a lot of that. I don't get, like, I hear other people will message them and, you're in your dad's car, or your mum gave you the money or whatever. I don't get any of that. And I really don't have too much of a fear of that. It's more of the quiet people that are looking and being like, fuck, he's 25 and he's made X amount of money. What am I doing with myself? Like,
yeah. So you don't want to give anyone that negative feeling.
Crushes me.
But as well, I think we had a laugh once. What did you do? You took a photo on Instagram and you were trying to hide something. I can't remember what it was. Like, what did you were trying to like make sure that no one just like said a comment, and then you had like you had your Rolex on or something like that.
Yeah.
What, do you remember what that was? Because it slipped my mind. But it was something really funny. Like someone would be like, "Oh, stop taking." Someone was like, "Oh, why do you don't put up your car or why do you show off your car?" So like you took a photo and made sure your car wasn't in there.
Yeah. Taking a photo. No. Spin around. We'll get the palm tree, not the GDR.
Yeah.
And then someone comments like, "Oh, look at you flexing your watch or something." Like,
You just couldn't get away with it.
I cannot win with these people. Yeah. When I bought a nice watch, I didn't wear it with a short sleeve shirt for about 9 months.
You're hiding it.
I felt ashamed of having such a nice watch. So long sleeve shirt, pull the sleeve over it, feel like the man, like, and the watch had like an intrinsic, there was a huge milestone. And I was like, if I can achieve this, I'm going to buy this watch. And when I did it, I bought the watch. Now every time I put the watch on, I just feel like the man. So I pull my sleeve down and be marching around and feeling like a boss. But then, like, if I look down, my sleeve's crept up, I'd shit myself. Put the sleeve back down. Don't want anyone to see that.
Yeah.
I think it's probably a limiting belief, and it's something I'm really trying to.
It's a weird one because it's so opposite to what
special.
Yeah, you are. But the limiting belief is so opposite to what usually the case is. Like, for example, for me, my limiting belief is the opposite. So my limiting belief is I've been working really, really hard in business, really working my ass off. Like, and we met like just briefly touch on how we met. I wrote an article about
Tim Gurner, I think, wasn't
Tim
it?
Gurner. Yeah, I wrote because when he was copping some slack about the whole avocado thing, I wrote an article and it was like my message to the snowflakes who were offended by Tim Gurner's comments, and it went viral. It got like 45,000 reads.
Yeah, that resonated with me.
Yeah, and then you read it, and then you reached out to me on Instagram. Then we ended up catching up, and you were telling me about the project that you were working on at the time, and I was like, when I was sitting with you, and I just had the tutoring agency at the time, I'm like, this kid is like so much more successful than me when we talk about like just pure financial position and business wise. And I'm like, why did he catch up with me because you wanted to ask me questions about, was it the passive income of the tutoring or
how you'd automated it and
how I had grown it, I think at the time. And I remember just listening to how you were operating. And I was like, man, he's just different because I had worked so hard. My limiting belief is opposite to yours. My limiting belief is I've worked so hard and I haven't reached that. Like my moment just hasn't happened yet. But also, no doubt in my mind, it's gonna fucking happen. So when people watching you, you're like, you had that feeling and you've gotten there. I'm at that stage where I'm like, I just know it's going to happen, but I haven't gotten there. So my limiting belief is opposite. It's like the car that I drive doesn't reflect how I feel about myself as an entrepreneur. I don't have a nice car. So I'm like, mine is like, oh, well, I'll definitely not taking a photo of my car and putting that up. Not because I don't want to give anyone a negative feeling. It's just because what if like it's just a limiting belief. Like if I park my car, you don't want to park your GDR close to people seeing. Mine's are different. It's like, I probably don't want to like just show off that I'm like going into my car because it's on the opposite ends. And it's so interesting that no matter what ends of the spectrum you're in, those beliefs don't go away. Those insecurities don't go away because it's an insecurity.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even mine's an insecurity, but yours is an insecurity too. It's just on a different ends of the spectrum. But what I keep thinking when you're talking about these things of like people feeling uninspired is your audience members, people who are watching you and the ones who drain your comments and send you, 750 DMs and just blast you with questions when you put up that story, is they're looking at you going, bro, like, how can we look at you and be like, we're uninspired? If anything, you inspire us. Post more, tell us more, communicate with us more. And we spoke about this as well. So since you've been on the journey and since like those moments did happen, where are you right now? Are you becoming a bit more okay with showing off the success, or have you still got that? Like, be honest. Have you still got that?
Without a doubt, I've still got it. That photo that I took just before and tagged you in it and put that little caption box. And I put the caption box, nearly posted. I was like, fuck, move the caption. I was, I'm sitting like this. And I'm like, no, move the caption box over your watch. You don't want people to see, you look like you're trying to show off your watch and shit like that. So I'm heading towards where I think is like a healthy level of, there's no need to show off, or I don't feel the need to show off, but I don't think I should feel the need to cover up. Yeah. So I'm moving towards that. Yeah. I'm definitely getting there, but long way to go.
Such a long way to go, but it's just really interesting. Like for me to think that no matter where you are on the success spectrum or no matter where you are, man, everyone has got their own limiting beliefs. Everyone's going through their own little struggles. Everyone's going through, like trying to like further improve themselves as well. So your journey with personal development throughout this has never stopped. So you're 27 now. Like I said to you, I remember catching up with, how long has it been since we caught, Tim Garnham article would have been like 3 years ago, or was it, or shorter? Or?
No. I would have 3 or 4. I would have thought
4 years ago.
Yeah.
And the thing that has stood out, so this is when you were like 23, is that during that time, we've caught up throughout those 4 years, and with your success changing, you haven't changed in one bit. You're still the exact same person. Incredibly humble, very keen to learn, to ask questions, and just always looking for ways to improve upon the self-development, like especially when it comes to self-development.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people who would be watching would be like, all right, well, like, bro, what are you doing now? Like, what are you doing now to like continue to improve yourself? Like, now that you've made it, are you just chilling? I know you're not. I know you're not. Like, you're still putting in the hours. So I've got 2 questions. Number one, what is it that you've done recently that's really, you're like, I've made some big strides personally? And I forgot my second question, but I'll remember it while you're talking.
All right. Big strides personally. So no, you're right. Personal development is huge for me.
Yeah.
And there's sort of 2 sides to it. One side of it is like the personal development that will help my business life. Speaking more confidently, walking into any room and just, having that confidence and that dominance, and productivity, performance, like performance-based personal development, huge on it. But then something that...
You put in your earphone, what was it? You put on your headphones at work and then just not plugged in?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a hack. Bro. When I was sharing an office, it'd be someone over there, someone over there, someone over there. Oscar, can you have a look at that? Oscar, what do I do with this? Oscar, can you do this? I'm like, I'm going to make some calls, put my headphones in, just don't plug them into anything. Yeah. People turn around, Oscar, sorry. And they're hanging under the desk. Like, that's a hack. Don't tell anyone that. But yeah, so there's performance-based, which I've been big on forever.
Where do you learn that? Videos or?
Yeah, I mean, where don't you learn it now?
YouTube.
Instagram, and you're telling me how, I can't get away. You send me a message, Oscar, have you thought about doing this? Personal development, performance stuff.
I just send you
100% you do. Yeah. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, books, audiobooks. Like, how often do we spend driving? Listen to an audiobook. Reading. There's heaps of stuff. So there's that side of it. And then the other side of it for me, which I've never really put much time to until recently, and we've spoke a little bit about this, is sort of like the more, I don't like the word spiritual, but any sort of personal development that will lead to some sort of feeling, inspiration, happiness, more empathy, more consideration of others, more kindness. So, and with any area of my life that I'm working on, be it business, performance, personal, I set goals. So I'm always setting goals. I want to do this many developments. I want to make this much, revenue. I want to, I want to practice gratitude every second day for a month, So that sort of side of it, that spiritual side of it, is something I've been working on for probably most of this year. There was almost like when I set my goals at the start of the year, I'm like, I want to be a kinder person. I want to be more considerate of others, and I want to be happier. I want to be calmer. I want to sleep better. So, I do. I try all sorts of random shit. There's one thing I'm trying at the moment is cold showers. Have you ever heard about cold showers?
Yeah, I have. I tried them at one point as well.
Bro, it's fucked. Yeah. So, where are we now? August. Yeah. So for 13 weeks, I haven't missed a cold shower. And
every day?
Every shower. So if I shower twice a day, then I'm doing cold showers twice a day.
Well, like just straight cold?
So I hop in, shower, do the normal stuff with the water on warm, and then just turn it to ice cold for at least a minute and a half, no more than 3 minutes. And people are like, oh, you get, after you do it for a while, you get used to it and stuff like that. You don't get used to it. And that's the whole intention behind it, is like, it is the safest discomfort that you can put yourself through. It's uncomfortable to cut yourself with a knife, but it's not fucking safe. So it is the safest way to put your mind, not so much your body, but your mind, into an uncomfortable state. And, that releases all sorts of hormones and creates all sorts of like disciplined habits and stuff like that. And the commitment to turning the tap to cold is huge.
Oh man.
And leaving, turn it cold, fuck that, I'm turning it back hot. And every shower, I'm in there and it's nice and warm and I'm doing my thing. And I'm like, all right, now I'm
not going to do it.
It's time to turn it to cold. I'm like, fuck, I had a shower this morning. Do I really need to do it in the shower? I'm like, I trained hard at the gym. Do I really need? I don't know if I need a cold shower. Every time my brain's trying to trick me out of doing it. So bang, I turn it to cold. And that one little thing, like there's heaps of physiological effects of it. Dopamine and like all these chemicals running through the brain. You get out and you feel incredible. It's good for your skin, your hair, anti-aging, like all that sort of shit. But beyond that, the commitment to it is just a game changer. Like if you can stand in the shower every night and know that this next minute is going to be agony.
Yeah.
Like this morning, 5 o'clock, it's fucking 2 degrees outside and I'm cranking the tap to cold. Like that level of discipline, it has no choice but to overflow in other areas of your life. I was like, oh, should I get up and make this call now? It's going to be a little bit uncomfortable. Well, fucking, it's not a cold shower. Like it's not agony. So that's something that I'm doing at the moment. Practicing gratitude a lot. You can't be stressed if you feel gratitude, like if you're grateful.
When you
wake
up in the morning, do you like write what you're grateful about, or what do you?
No, I got to get one of those journals that you tell me about.
Yeah,
but I just do it.
5-minute journal.
Yeah, 5-minute journal.
Cool,
yeah. I got to get one of those. No, I just do it more. I'll be driving to work and I'll be like, what are 3 things that I'm grateful for?
Okay.
And my girlfriend Jessie, like she's on a huge personal development journey as well, and like I share my goals with her. So we'll be watching a movie. She'll hit pause and be like, "What? Tell me something you're grateful for." Or I'll be walking around the house and I'll be a bit flat. Something had a bad day at work. She's like, "Tell me 3 things you're grateful for." I'm like, oh, fucking shut up. And then I'm like, no. She's like, "Do it." And then I dig deep and I tell her 3 things that I'm grateful for. And
it's hard to be upset after that.
And then I feel incredible. Yeah. But then I also have fears about becoming. I think I expressed this to you. I'm like, what happens if I become content? Like I have this fear of becoming content. Do I turn over 50 or 60 mil this year? Like, what if I'm happy with that? And then next year I'm just like, I'll just do the same. Oh, fuck. Like that scares the shit out of me. So I'm like, I want to be more content, but I don't want to be content. And I think I explained that to you. Like, I don't know what the right or wrong is, and I don't know if there is a right or wrong, but that's something I'm struggling with at the moment.
Yeah. Different situation. Problems still exist, just different quality of problems. It's like my thing is like, how on earth am I going to break through? That's what's been on my mind a lot recently. Is how am I going to break through? I'm like, my business is doing the best that it. I'm in a position where I'm doing the best that I've done since I started business at 17. But how do I break through? How do I just go and just break through? And I'm like frustrated every day. I'm like trying to figure this out. Yours is like, I've broken through. I'm good. You know what I mean? Like I'm good. Now it's like, man, I'm scared shitless of becoming content and becoming just okay, because like you never like, because it would, the reason why I don't think that'll ever happen to you is because I think someone said something to me. I can't remember who it was, but they said something like, I'm like, oh, I need to chase after something. I need to chase after to chase after a goal or something like that. And then they went to me, they went, if you like, you think if you don't have a goal, or if you weren't in business and you didn't have what you had going on, do you think that you would just like be able to laze around and do nothing all day? And I'm like, no, it's just not in my nature. So that's the same thing that I think I remember telling you. It's like, it's like, you're never just gonna be content, because that's never been your nature. That is not you. You are not that. Like it just can't happen. And the fact that you are feeling fear when you think about it is an indication that your mind is so scared of that you're never going to become it. You'll find something to become obsessed about. Like, oh my God, I'm not doing enough. So you go and have 13 cold showers for 13 weeks straight. That's insane, man. Like your body will, your mind will constantly search for something to kind of keep you really, really challenged. You'll find something, and you'll find something for the rest of your life, because that's you. That's just built in you. You know, it's become too ingrained in who you are. And I think like what you're doing right now that's a big step forward, man. Who knows what's going to come from after this? You know, like you're speaking now.
This is fucking huge for me.
Yeah, this is a big challenge for you, man. Like I know how long it's been taking me to get you to come on and speak, and I know like what and the same thing, like the same concerns. It's like, what if I come up here and I talk, and then there's, you know, I share certain things, and someone goes, oh, why is he, you know, showing off, or why is that you're not going to be showing. People are going to be inspired listening to you. So I want to take it back to the people, and I want to make this a bit more casual for the rest of the time that we have. So I want you to start.
I was going to say your bagel's going cold.
Yeah. So the casual question is just for someone who's just starting out, like, what advice do you have? What advice do you have for someone who's just kind of like getting started?
It's a bagel.
Is that?
Mm-hmm.
A mukbang. This is a mukbang. You didn't even know what mukbangs are.
I'm trying so hard not to chew into the mic.
Nah, man. They love it. They love it, man. People pay
for this? Yeah.
People get paid to eat on camera.
All right. So somebody just getting started. My biggest piece of advice would be to do what makes you happy and be less considerate of other people's perceptions of happiness. Not their happiness. You know, don't go do shit that's going to make people unhappy, but don't go do for you what you think will make me happy. You know, if I'm cool with working 80 hours a week for 10 years, that doesn't mean that's what you should do. It won't work for you. If, you know, I've got plenty of people that are plenty of mates that they run successful businesses, and they'll go to a cafe and get their laptop out, and they'll bang out some incredible work for a few hours. They'll shut it and they'll go have lunch, and then they'll go home and do a couple of more hours there of incredible work. And I got a home office and I can't fucking stand it. You know, I'll be in there and I'll hear my puppy playing outside, and like work's gone. You know, I'm the type of person that I need to shut myself in the office. You know, structure is huge for me. I'm really big on that for me, but for somebody else, I think they need to find what works for them, and you know, you're going to get so much backlash from other people, especially if you're chasing something. You know, people saying, "Oh, money won't make you happy." You know, "Oh, success won't make you happy." No, it might not, but that doesn't mean that like you won't have fun or be happy pursuing it. It's not like, you know, I want to be, you know, I got a goal for when I'm 30. One of my personal goals is I want $30 million worth of assets by the time I'm 30 years old. And, you know, I don't share that with many people. And the couple of people that I've told it to, they're like, "Oh, you know, that's a real unhealthy goal, blah, blah, blah." Like, not for me. You know, you need to be so confident in pursuing what makes you happy, and be less considerate of what other people think should make you happy. Is that good?
Good, man. I'd offer you some, but I know you're vegan, right?
Vegan-ish.
Vegan-ish? What I want to do is, you had like an incredible amount of questions come through when you put up your story. And I want to go through some of these questions from your followers. Now, the important thing is, if each one of these questions has the capacity to go on for another 5 to 10 minutes per one. Yeah. So I want you to try and be as like sharpshooting as possible, so we can get through as many of them. Yeah? All right, cool. Peter Jordan 23 says, "Love it. When's a Lamborghini coming?"
Dad's going to hate this. Dad went to the Sydney Boat Show on the weekend, come in on Monday, and he's like, "I need some money. I bought a boat." So I'm like, "What about my Lamborghini?" Yeah. So no, I reckon I'm not in a rush anymore. Okay. It was something I wanted to do. I wanted to buy myself one for Christmas last year, but now I'm, you know, I got other shit to focus on. So,
all right, done. Jalocha, Jalocha, shout out to him. Said, or her, I'm not sure. Him. "You're a bloody ripper bloke too. You've put in the hard yards and reaped the benefits." It's just more like a comment.
Thanks, bro. Yeah. No, he's cool, that guy.
Okay. Maddie VJ01 said, "Looking back, what would you change? And please don't say nothing it was meant to be."
This guy's a legend. He's from Gold Coast.
Yeah.
What would I change? I don't think I would change anything as such, but I'd just be more focused on doing what makes me happy, and less, like, you know, like I just went on a rant. I'd be more focused on my own happiness and less focused on what other people care about. You know.
Great advice, I think.
Yeah.
When you zero in, it's the best. Charmaine Taylor, "You deserve every little single bit of success."
Oh, Charmaine, stop it.
Loretta _Boyd, literally love your work. What a freaking achievement. Power of the mind. Hey. Tommy B _87. Why are you
What's
so
he saying?
cute?
Making me blush in front of everyone.
Aaron Gravius. Shout out to Aaron. That's a mutual friend. You're a fucking superstar. So
He
you
is.
said.
He
Aaron
is a superstar.
is a superstar in his own right as well. Joel Kamako. Not a question. Just want to say congrats on all your achievements.
That was someone I fought. Pro boxer Joel.
Oh,
Joel
really?
Camilleri, yeah.
Oh, you fought
He
him?
just fought Costazu's son the other week. He's a top fighter.
Yeah.
He's Australian title holder. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. What a champion. Troy Candy. How did you get to where you are? Your story was too long to re-achieve. Troy's your mate though.
Yeah, he's a smart ass. There'll be a few in there for him, I'm sure.
I love it.
You say Troy Candy?
Yeah.
Never heard of her.
Oh, never heard of her. Sam _Woolnool. Well, I'm not sure how to pronounce that last name. Bro, this little Insta story is truly inspiring. Well done.
What a legend.
Okay, let me go through some questions. Hi, did this all take you 10 years? From Brienne Nicolaidis. Would you say?
Oh, it's taken me 27 years now. Like
27?
there's no really start and stop. You know how First lemonade stand was when I was 12 years old. So I think that's when it really started.
Someone, Ali.Houston said, can you lend me 55 mil, please?
Al, give me a call. Yeah, for sure.
All right. I got the same question as well. Anthony McKeever said, can I have a job? We'll see.
Yeah. Send me your resume.
Oh my God. What is the best course to start with, bro? From no username.
Oh, you can jump in on this one.
What course to start with? Well, it depends what you want to. It depends what you want to start. If you want to start a business, there is a course on Udemy called "How to Start a Business in Australia" in brackets 2019. It's by this cunt called Leo Alhalabi.
I was going to say, I know a nice book.
Yeah. And I said guy there, not the C word. I know it kind of mixed in the two. What business books and units have you read and worked through? Like what business books have you read?
Did the business degree, business books, all the typical ones. I started with Rich Dad, Poor Dad when I was learning to read. 4-Hour Work Week, Think and
Tim
Grow
Ferriss,
Rich.
4-Hour Work Week transformed my business as well. Yeah.
How to not give a fuck? What's the subtle art of not giving a fuck?
Yeah, the subtle art. Have you read that?
Yeah, I read that. I just read his other book, the sort of sequel to that. All the typical ones. Probably read. I think I read 22 books last year or something like that. So I'm not a huge reader.
Oh, 22 books is a lot.
Is it?
Yeah, for sure. I think there was like this crazy average that, like on average, people like barely read a book in their life. Something crazy.
I saw an Instagram quote that the average CEO reads 50 books a year or something like
CEO.
that.
Yeah, but
that's true.
That's by Ty Lopez's company.
Oh,
and they're
okay.
trying to sell this program to read books, and they don't read the books. It's
I know the one.
Condensed in a way. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Someone asked. Lizaya T, there's no chance I'm going to be able to pronounce this, but advice on shareholders and how to keep things even overall. And that's something you didn't really mention throughout is you've been into shares as well and you've made some good money doing that too. So what's your advice?
So if he means like trading shares, I think people, if you're going to get into it, you need to expect to not make money for 2 or 3 years from trading shares. It's something that takes a long time to learn and there's obviously a lot at risk. So to become comfortable with it and consistent, I think you need to be prepared to put in the hard yards for 2 or 3 years and not make any money.
Yeah.
If you mean shareholding as in...
Probably in like trading.
Trading, you reckon? All right, then I won't go into business shareholding then.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, no.
There's no point for it.
No.
What trade do you think is best to get in before starting developments and why?
If you wanted to, I think like a trade's probably not necessarily the way to go. Maybe do a planning course and learn more about the planning scheme and stuff. If you're going to go into a trade, I think the most common one would be a chippy becomes a builder, then becomes a developer, I think. But that's probably like a 30-year course is from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I laughed because I got another question from Troy Ken.
Oh, go on. What is it?
Apart from Troy Candy, who is your biggest inspiration?
Oh my God. Who is this guy again? Biggest inspiration. I don't know. I do have a lot of friends that inspire me. Troy probably is one. He's had a lot of success with his business, but more than that, he's copped a lot of hate through his business as well. Like he's doing stuff on cars, 7-10 years ago that people hadn't seen before, and the shit online that I would see.
Troy doesn't look like the guy. I don't know Troy, but like obviously I've paid attention to what he's been able to do as well, especially in the entrepreneurship field. You tend to get to know about who's really making big moves, especially in the Melbourne scene. Doesn't really look like the guy to care. About what
and I admire that. He'll go out. He doesn't care what people think about him. He doesn't care he'll wear whatever he wants. He doesn't care. But yeah, some close people to me as well. I got family members that they inspire me and I look up to them. But I don't think I have a huge role model.
Do you have like a celebrity inspiration?
I was just about to say Troy Candy would like it if I mentioned him. But no, I don't really have it. Who's yours?
Celebrity? Oh man, that's because the thing is when I grew up, I had to source my form of inspiration and people to look up to through online, and so they tend to be celebrities. So in terms of celebrities, I'm gonna have to not actual like technical celebrities. Number one would be Tony Robbins, was a huge influence on my life. Tony Robbins' mentor Jim Rohn was massive to me as well. Gary Vee is a big thing, played a big factor in how I approach my online content. Other than that, personally, there is a big inspiration of mine. Someone I interviewed for my book, which who's called Fadi Zuki, a really successful entrepreneur here in Melbourne, Australia as well. His businesses are international. I would say that. I would say in terms of inspirations outside of like of course my parents are incredibly inspiring towards me. I've got my family as well, but yeah, that's who I'd say in terms of celebrity. I'm laughing because I've got another one from someone close to you as well. Jesse Williams Fitness.
Have I heard that name before?
How'd you score such a hot girlfriend? XXXX.
No, I don't know. Nice car, nice watch. I don't know.
Nice car. How long ago did you guys meet?
We met.
Or when you guys became got in a relationship?
Oh, we got in a relationship. I hope she's not watching. I'm pretty sure nearly a couple of years. Yeah. Yeah, we were unofficial for a long time.
Yeah.
Someone's got commitment issues.
Oh.
No. We've been together a while. We live together now. We have a puppy. Happy little family.
Oh, the puppy is so cute. What's
Willow?
Willow?
Yeah,
it's so cute. What do you feel when you see it? It's a female, right?
Yeah,
what do you see when you see her? Like, just gets you so excited, or?
Oh, every time I come home from work, because I chase her around the house, and Jessie doesn't like to disturb the neighbours and shit like that.
Yeah.
But so when I come home from work, she just flips, and we run around the house for about 20 minutes until one of us is just too exhausted to keep running.
That's so cute, man.
It's usually me.
Tommy B _87. What's your max bench?
150.
150
pounds.
Dream car?
Dream car.
From I Am Blair.
It's not a dream car. It's a dream car collection. Want an S15 Silvia. Don't laugh. Want a 34 GTR. I'll probably never sell my 35 GTR. Lamborghini Huracan. Rolls Royce Ghosts. Yeah, there's a few.
I reckon you'll get the whole lot. 100%. You just get just get one of each.
Yeah. I need something to drive to the private jet.
No doubt, man. There's no doubt in my mind. Nicholas.cartel. I love when the Instagram username is just an easy one to say.
Yeah.
How did you keep motivated in the most shittest of days? When things were really shit, what kept you going?
I think structure. Yeah, structure and just consistency. I still have shit days.
Yeah,
I have days where you can even hear now like I've hardly got a voice because I'm just so run down. And I'll be in the office and it'll be 2:00 and I'll be like, I don't want to be here for another 3 or 4 hours, but I won't leave. And I'll sulk for 10 minutes and probably check my phone for 10 minutes and then have a glass of water and keep working because I think motivation isn't the thing. I don't stay motivated all the time. So how do I stay motivated? I don't, but I just try and stay consistent.
How do you scale a business and keep your service up to par? Someone else.
You'd be able to answer that better than me. Scaling, something that I struggle with personally. That my biggest fear with scaling is that I lose touch. I still lodge my own BAS statements at the moment, which is ridiculous. I
believe you're doing that.
Yeah, I still process all my, I see every dollar that comes in and out of my accounts. We'll do 50, we pay our accounts bi-monthly, so on the 15th and on the 30th, and there'll be 50 payments to be made, and I will go through and check every single one. And that's something I struggle with. So scaling my business is tough.
Yeah.
But you've done it, so
yeah. Well, not scale in terms of like I've grown a team quick.
You've done amazingly, don't?
But yeah, not in terms of scaling. In terms of like scaling the business where it just grows and starts to turn over a lot. That hasn't been figured out as of yet, but we're getting there. But yeah, I would say if I was to answer the whole scaling thing is it's just super important to anything you can't automate. It's my rule. Anything you can't automate, outsource. That's very important. If you're stuck doing any admin task, any data input, any messaging, any responding to emails, if you've got a big client base that tends to ask you the same questions, if you can't automate it, outsource it. I think that's the only way that you can scale. So for the tutoring agency, when we scaled from like 40 to 450 tutors, and we wanted to go to Sydney and Brisbane, the only way we were able to do that was, number one, tutors were only being contacted by a team that we had trained offshore to send and respond to messages. Like we trained them for months to do this. So I no longer had to sit there and send messages or answer questions. When tutors came on board, they had a list of questions they would typically ask. So we created an online course where we answered all these questions and got the tutors to actually go through it. So by the time they were approved into the team, they had no questions that they wanted to ask. It's small things like that that actually allow you to eventually be able to scale your business, having contracts in place, having a real flow sheet of and that you follow no matter what happens. You have to understand that when you're scaling and you're taking out the personal touch, you're going to have to account for a percentage of loss. So for example, what we found was that when we were bringing in tutors for interviews, just identifying small things like this. When I was interviewing tutors one-on-one, this was a bottleneck because I couldn't scale to 400 people because I had to interview every single person one-on-one. Then I realized every 10 person I interviewed, I was approving 9 of them. So there was only 10% of people that I would interview that I would I would know I'm going to hire them within the first 5 minutes, and most of them were really, really good. So then we went to group interviews, and then I realized that we were approving like 85% of them. And so then we were like, what's the point of investing all this time and money and bringing them in for personal interviews? These guys are already good. We're only going to have a 10 to 15% outlier of people who we wouldn't have approved. So we moved the entire application process online. It's not necessary to keep it in person. You just got to learn to let go. But with that, we understood that some people are going to start falling through the cracks who shouldn't have been there. So then we put a system on top of that. So the system we put was feedback from parents. The moment we identified a tutor that wasn't up to par, we stopped sending them students and then we let them go. So it's just like that's just the way to scale. Anything you can't outsource, you can't automate, you have to outsource it. Your business is different.
My business is different. And even now we run a very lean crew. There's 5 of us in the office. Which we had a couple more, but everybody in my office performs. Last night, 20 to 7, I was leaving and there was 4 cars still in the car park. When I get there in the morning, sometimes I'll get there at 5 o'clock. My construction manager's turned the heater on in my office and been and gone to site. He's been in there at 4 a.m. He'll be checking the weather if we're pouring concrete or, the team that we have at the moment. They're all very accountable to themselves and they're all very motivated to see out their role to the fullest. It's just that I'm somewhat of a control freak, but I'm just hesitant. I know, that statistic that I mentioned before, 90+% of developers going broke. Like I'm not going to be that statistic. Of those 90% of developers that go broke, or 95 or whatever it is, another 90% of those become multi-millionaires again. It's just the process. They lose everything. They lose their family home, but they know this they have this ability to generate wealth through property, so they do it all again.
Yeah.
But the heartbreak of losing it all, I'm not interested in going down that path. Part of that has instilled in me this sort of I double check, I triple check, I look over, I audit. I have my finger on the pulse of everything.
And I think that would be very surprising for some people to hear, because you are like, your entire journey has been so risk filled that they wouldn't actually really have a good understanding of just how safe you actually play. Not like you're a safe player, but we've spoken, and like you have got like your everything structured so that you're good. And you're good for a long period of time if things were to go sour.
Yeah, I'm extremely conservative.
Yeah,
conservative nature. And people laugh when they hear that. You surfed at dangerous beaches and then you fought competitively, and now you're in property development. Like, what do you mean you're a conservative person? But yeah, I'm conservative with what I can control. So every dollar that goes in and out, every BAS report, I have a bookkeeper and she's incredible. She's just like, every cent is perfect. Everything's done, like she doesn't make mistakes. And then, but I'll go back through the books for the last 3 months, and somebody's instructed her, to enter something in this particular manner. She's done it perfectly, but there's been a shortfall somewhere before it's got to her and it's gone in the wrong way. And then, we haven't claimed $9,000 worth of GST that we should have claimed or something like that. And in the scheme of my business, that's not make or break, but I've just got this obsessive nature where I know I want it to be perfect. So in saying that, when my business started to grow really quickly, I had 4 projects on the go, or was starting a 4th project, and had a bookkeeper 2 days a week. And, my old man was sort of keeping an eye on the construction side of it. And there was me and the bookkeeper. She was only there 2 days a week. And, I was doing the books at night and stuff like that, and we're talking, each project, is $10 million plus. And I've got a bookkeeper for two days a week, because like,
how does it feel to like be working with someone like you're like, how does it feel to like have a bank account and then you see such like large figures in there? Like, what?
I have NetBank notifications on. So when one of my projects starts to settle, you got like 30 factories at, $500K a pop, and they just ding, 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 start coming in. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But it's just part of it now. I'm not like, just, 500,000. Oh, I'm going to go buy a Lambo. It's nothing like that.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I find it entertaining, because I just think, it's incredible sort of how it's all unfolded.
Yeah. So throughout your journey, I actually have like a question that's just more like from a personal thing. It's something I've been actually tussling with, and that is the thing that's driven me every single day has been this goal that I set at 17 that I wanted to achieve by 25. Okay. Mm-hmm. And this is one of those, all right, what's the better way of going about it type questions. Now, that having that dream has made me perform at the top standard. I've had no option but to work with my failures to overcome them. Thank you.
Hustler. Yeah.
Thanks, man. And I've had no option but to try and find a way to figure out how I'm going to get through this. And I question, I'm like, if I didn't have this goal, maybe I wouldn't have pushed this hard. Maybe I wouldn't have worked this hard. But now that I'm kind of, I'm seeing the light, and I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm on track right now to get there. I know how I'm going to get there. I'm starting to find that having this financial goal, or particular like business goal that I've got by 25, that I'm like religious, I'm counting down the days, man. Like I know the days that I'm counting down, and like I'll go to my office and I've got a day countdown that's been going from like day, I think I bought it when it was like day 695, and now it's like 100 days just went like that. It's like day 590. It's insane to me. And I'm just like, I'm starting to work towards it, but you know what it's doing to me? It's making me become more, it's making me enjoy this process less in a way. It's starting to get to me. And it's starting to get me to the point where I'm like, I'm struggling to be happy with what I've achieved so far. And I'm struggling to get excited with the achievements that I'm actually like these milestones that we're getting, because I'm like, I'm still so far away from this long goal. So like this year, or like even in the past 100 days that we did, we landed like the biggest website we've ever done. We've landed the biggest contract we've ever done. And and like I've like just things are certain change, and every time it happens, this is my reaction. Oh, cool, but oh, cool, but whereas it like otherwise I'd be fucking so happy with myself, and it's also I'm also falling into this trap of like becoming too transactional. Like my goal, rather than like doing things that I love and enjoy, like these podcasts, and just kind of having fun with it and enjoying myself, I'm like, what can I do that's going to bring me closer to this end goal? But sometimes I'll do things that I don't necessarily enjoy doing. But if I focus on actually enjoying myself throughout this journey, I might have a better chance of getting there. So my question to you is, if I had to ask, would it be better for me to kind of keep this goal and for someone to set a goal very clearly, because I know exactly how much I want to make every dollar. I know exactly what I'm going for, or and become obsessed with chasing this, or is it better to kind of just focus on what you do, just enjoy every day, like kind of go through that, be in the moment type person? Where would you fall on the scale?
There's a balance. There's definitely a balance, and I've just gone through something somewhat similar recently. I mentioned 30 by 30 is a goal of mine. I'm 27, so shit's coming around quick. If I want to have $30 million worth of assets by the time I'm 30 years old, then this year needs to look like this. Next year needs to look like I've got it mapped out, and then. For anybody who follows the property market or reads the newspaper, the property market today isn't what it was 12 months ago. So 12 months ago, I'm planning, I'm getting bigger, my company's growing, I'm, expanding more, like turning over more money, delivering more units, different products, making more money, really just trying to lead my company to growth. Because I'm set on this, $30 million worth of net assets. That's a lot of like rental income. I don't know, it just has a good ring to it. When the market started to shift and I started to dig deeper, I'm like, I got to work harder. It's, the market's tough right now. The market got tougher and tougher. I'm like, fuck, I'm giving this everything I can. And I just sort of had this realization that I might not make more money next year than what I'll make this year, just the way that the market is. And something that I realized, and it's funny because a mentor of mine, Jonathan Hallinan, he owns BPM Corp, big developer in the city, does big stuff. Really, really nice guy. I connected with him a few years ago when I was just getting started, and he's given me a lot of advice over the years, and he's my success is a credit to him. I could tell you what, I modeled what he did, and I learned a lot from that guy. He told me once a few years ago, he said, a leader can inspire people to get G'd up. Let's go, let's grow, let's chase bigger numbers, let's make more money, sell more units. Like, that's leadership, to get people going like that. But what takes an even stronger leader is to say, hang on guys, calm down. Now isn't the time to be taking on bigger projects, more projects, higher leverage projects, taking more risk. Sometimes, you have to let go of that. So, if I wanted to make, I wanted to do X number of dollars next year, I want to do $100 million next year in revenue, I can chase that goal. But if I get so fixated on that goal, I might start blocking out market forces that are bigger than my company. You can't beat the market. And I think that's something that like you need to reassess with yourself. If you become so focused on, you become transactional, you start delivering a less, first of all, you're not as happy at work. Fuck that. Like you want to be happy at work. You deserve to be happy at work. You become so fixated on something that you'll stop enjoying what you're doing. You become transactional based, like you said, and then your clients will start to feel that. If I meet up with you and say, let's look at doing a website, and we have the conversation, and you're just, you're counting the dollars of each part. I'm not getting inspired about, the website for my company. Yeah, that won't happen. You won't let that happen. But if you're too fixated on that goal, then you need to be mindful of that.
Yeah. I think recently, and actually the past few days, I've come home happier, smiling more, joking around more, because I've just kind of established this mindset, like, look, I can make this happen. I'm doing everything right. And I think that's also a big thing for anyone who's watching, is like, yes, it's good to have a goal, but what's more important is just do everything that you know that universe wise is should logically lead to that particular outcome. If you go to work at a particular time every day and you end at a particular time, and you consistently do that, and you work longer hours than the average person, and you treat everyone genuinely, you don't purposely try to put people down, you constantly try to work on yourself, you're always trying to work harder and improve your current situation, and like if you just do these things that are needed for the process, you can let go of that end outcome. Stop getting too stressed about achieving it. You're going to get there because it's just inevitably going to happen. There's no such thing. And even when we kind of go back to that moment where someone turns to you, and it can be an ex, it can be a friend, it can be your parent, and just goes, well, what if it doesn't work out for you? It's like, well, how can it not? How can it not work out for I'm doing everything correctly? And if you just do everything correctly, the question isn't going to be how can it work? It's just going to be like, okay, what's the magnitude at which it's going to work? Yeah. And when is it going to happen? But it happening is going to be inevitable. That's something that I've learned. So I think even though I'm going to keep chasing after this goal by 25, I'm going to let go a little bit of what that looks like, and I'm just going to enjoy every day. I'm going to become more focused on just doing what it is that I know, so that I can give the clients of my agency everything and not be transactional. And I've never been transactional. If I was transactional, I'd probably be in a better situation than what I am now. It's the fact that I haven't been transactional. Maybe
now, but in 5 years, different story.
Exactly, but that's because it's gonna the payoff is going to be a bit prolonged. One thing I wanted to touch on was even at the level of success that you are right now, every time I say that, you look at me and you're like, you know what I mean? Like, come on, bro, you're going to have to get used to it. But even at the level of success that you are right now, you still face problems. Actually, I would love for you to kind of talk about the recent because of the property market and things have slowed down, and we spoke about this before, and I think it was so powerful for me to listen to, and I'm sure it would be for the audience, about the whole settlement issue with one of the things that you had, and how you came in clutch and made certain things happen.
All right, are you talking about sales? Are we talking about sales?
Yeah, just you don't have to kind of get into the details of it, but more so just talk about that switch in your mind where you went, I'm just not going to accept for this not to work. And you just went crazy and just started making things happen.
Yep. All right. Someone's feelings going to get heavy.
Yeah.
No limits, right?
Like I said to you, you don't have to mention the details or anything, but you can at least just kind of talk about that switch moment. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So a recent project of mine, we're marketing, and we're feeling the stress in the market at the moment. You know, things aren't selling, banks aren't lending money. There isn't as many buyers in the market as what there was 12 months ago, 18 months ago. So, this project it didn't kick off like I planned for it to kick off. And then you start exploring well, what if I can't make a success of this project? Should I sell the land? Should I explore doing something else on it? Or what should I do? And I was speaking to head of sales, within my company, and he said, because I'm stressing about it, right? I'm not sleeping. I've got to do this. How are we going to get these things sold? And he could see that I was struggling with it. And he's like, you need to relax a little bit. I'm like, I can't, not until we, start making a success of this. And he said, sometimes you just need to be okay, knowing that you're doing everything that you can. And when he said that, and I've had this conversation with him, and I'm sure if he watches this, he's going to be fine with this. But that didn't resonate with me at all. I was like, no, we haven't done everything that we can. Until we've gone door to door, in Turak, trying to sell these as an investment. Till we've flown over to China and trying to sell them there. Until there isn't a person in Australia that hasn't heard of this product that I'm selling, how much value it is, and I can convey that and show that this product, you're going to make 25% on your money in 12 months if you buy this product at what I'm selling it for now. It's incredible. I've got so much passion for that. Till I've communicated that to everyone in Australia, we haven't done all that we can do. So, from that, I just said, I'm going to commit myself to selling this product. I'm just going to do everything that I can. So, and I just got on the phone. I started calling people, call my mentor. What should I do? He's like, have you tried this? I'm like, I haven't even thought of that. Have you tried that? No, I haven't thought of that. I'm like, here's all these things that are coming up that we haven't done. just on the phone encouraging. I got selling agents working for me, calling them, have you followed up all your leads today? No, I'll follow them up this afternoon. Call them back this afternoon. Oh, I haven't had time to do it. All right, I'm going to call you back again in an hour. So when I call again, you're going to have done it. And, and there's no aggression. It's just consistent attention to the outcome. I didn't do any one thing that flicked a switch. I didn't make one connection with the right person, or I didn't say the right thing to the one agent, or, do this or do that. I just continued to put focus to this one matter. Not just my focus, my team's focus, the sales team's focus, other agents that weren't even working for me, speaking to them. What could I do? Could you do this? Have you got anyone? Can we change the branding? Should we look at Facebook ads? Just so much attention to this one matter. And then we sold, following that 2 weeks, in 1 week, we sold more properties at that project than we had sold in the 7 months prior to that. And, you analyze it and be like, oh, where did these sales come from? And, you can't follow the exact trail because they all come from different areas. But a big belief of mine is that if you put the work into something, the outcome is inevitable. It's just a matter of time. You might, I'm just fucking pulling levers like this. I don't know if I pulled the right one or which one was the right one, but something happened and the sales followed.
Yeah.
And that's sort of my attitude with anything. You need to get money. I'm not going to look around and, I'm just going to go hammer a tong at it and see what comes of it.
I think sometimes people will overestimate or overthink about what they should do and think less about just do. And that's what you just did. You can't, and that's. I think I'm so happy that you mentioned that. It's like, no, I don't know where it came from. I don't know how it happened. No. It wasn't an idea. I just was like, okay, I'm going to figure this out. And you just jumped on a call, and one of the calls to your mentor, you weren't going to get a sale from him.
No,
but no, that led to something else. And then you jump to this person, you speak, that leads to something else, and that leads to something else. And I think for me, when you actually shared this story for me, it was so inspiring at the time because I was in a position where things had slowed down sales-wise, and I'm like, man, I just don't know which kind of direction to go in. And I was like, it doesn't matter which direction I should go in.
Just go.
I just went. So I just started calling friends. I started with just to warm up. Hey, man, do you know someone who would be interested in potentially talking about this? No, but what about this? And just call to call.
Yeah.
And then suddenly...
don't leave out the part where you said, is there anything I can do for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's how you always started those calls. Yeah.
That's right. So just to kind of talk about my logic with it. So what I did was I would call my friends, and I wanted to strike up a referral thing, but you can't call anyone. I can't call you. I can't call someone. If someone called me and was like, hey, can you give me some work? Even if they were my best friend, I'd be like, bro, why?
Yeah.
That's just, you're just asking something from me. It doesn't work that way. Yeah. You have to give first. And that's, I think, a big point of advice for people getting into business. You've got to give
There's
first.
A few questions on that in the later that we'll
you've got to give. And so what I would do is I wouldn't call my friends or people that I knew in business and be like, hey, do you know anyone who we could potentially help scale their business in the home improvement space or in the service high service ticket space, particularly home improvements, massive for us. And then I wouldn't just say, hey, can you help me find someone? I would start this off. I'd be like, oh, bro, I know that you are in you're a plasterer for example, right? Who can I connect you with right now to give you some money to put business in your pocket? That's how I started it. And honestly, some cases I would refer certain people and money would be made. And I wouldn't even wait for them to say. They would say, what about you, bro?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even have to say anything. Oh, what about you, bro? Yeah. I'm like, oh man, look, if you can keep me in mind for any, and if they don't say it, I don't care. That's fine. I don't mind mentioning it, but it's not a sly way of going about it. It is the only way you should go about it. I have to add value first. I'm genuinely trying to put money in my friend's pocket first. I give to them before I expect for them to give to me. So, and then suddenly now I've got 10 people I've spoken to who I made one of those phone calls, and the amount of referral work I got from that one individual trailed on. It was incredible. I still get referral to now. It's just from a phone call that I made, he was bringing in business when I wasn't having it, when when I didn't really have much business. So don't ever underestimate the power of a phone call to anyone. Just kind of just do and set with the outcome that you want. I want to get my sales going, and the universe starts to kind of work its way around. I always mention this, and like the people who are like a little bit more nerdy in the physics space always kind of correct me and stuff, but I don't care. They say I always talk that, you know, like there's like a law, Newton's law is like every action is an equal and opposite reaction. It's like the second law, and like energy can't disappear. When I say this, they go, "Oh yes, it can."
Yeah.
Look,
Black holes.
just for the sake of sake of this expression, let's just say that most times, you know, if I punch my hand, equal amount of energy gets translated from one thing to another. When you put energy into your work, you make calls, you're moving, you're trying to do meetings, you're just putting energy. It doesn't matter what you're doing, something is going to come. You're going to get some sort of outcome, because that energy it's not going to be disappeared. You're not going to waste your time. There's a big thing like, what if I waste my time? What if what if it doesn't work out? What if I put in all this effort and it doesn't work out? It will. It has to, because your effort's gonna come back around. It may not come now, but it eventually will. So what do you, when someone goes, "Oh, what if I put in all this effort and it doesn't work out?" What's the first thing that comes to your mind to say to them?
It will work out.
It will.
Every ounce of effort that you put into something, there's an outcome. It's for me, it's that simple. It's, you know, if you're in the gym, you know, every rep that you do, like bodybuilding is its volume of resistance. So every rep that you do, you know, tears a muscle and the muscle grows or something like that. It's like every 10 minutes you put into studying for your uni exam, that's not wasted. If you fail the exam, you know, that's another issue. But the 10 minutes of study has an outcome. You have the knowledge from 10 minutes of study. Might be a lot, might be not. Depends, you know, how quick you read, what you absorb, all that sort of stuff. It's the same with your business. Every ounce of effort that you put into your business will have an outcome. And for me, it's a matter of just scale up the effort to scale up the outcome. Where some people have a more particular approach, you know, they'll try and, if I try this, see what that outcome that gets. That didn't get much of an outcome, I won't do that again. I'll try that. Oh, that did get an outcome, then I'll scale that up. And there's merit to that, but sometimes there isn't time, or you can't analyze whatever you're doing that deeply. So you just need to go hard on it all, and the outcome it'll come.
It'll eventually get there. I think we're starting to reach like towards the end of the podcast. Was there anything that, any area that you wanted me to touch on first, or you wanted to speak on before we kind of wrap it up? Feel like you mentioned everything?
No, I feel like I
got more out of you than what I thought.
I don't know. Was there any questions?
Okay, let's do that. So we'll kind of finish it up by trying to go through as many questions from followers as possible, and then I can go home and go home a happy man. That this happened. All right, let's go through some of these questions. Opinion on high school. I know I'm destined for something greater, but school is a barrier. From Lockie.Crestani.
For me, I mean, if it's a barrier, well then I think you should go other ways. If you're unsure on what you want to do, then enjoy high school. You know, high school, finishing, hanging out the mall, driving to mates' cars, like those were the days. Don't take that for granted.
Yeah. We've already answered let's answer best real estate book that you read. From Paddy_O_Ro.
Australian Guide to Property Development.
What did the first project end up costing you?
About 1.2 million.
1.2 million. And what was the return after you guys sold?
About 600K.
600K. Pretty solid.
Yeah, this is a good one.
What's the biggest check you've ever seen? That was from me.
6.4.
6.4 million?
Yeah. On one check.
Huh?
6.4 on one check.
Wow. It's just a lot of people praising. You're a my
That's really
idol.
nice.
Good shit, dude. Well done, bro. Kicking goals.
Yeah, that's really nice. That was me logging into my fake profiles.
Was it?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. You're the man.
There's too many people here. Did you ever think, did you make it this far? I think that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, no, I definitely knew, but I didn't think I would make it this quick.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was gonna actually ask you if you thought you'd make it this quickly.
No.
Outline. Oh, sorry, I'm just getting phone calls. Outline how you work your finances, weekly budgets / investment portfolio.
Finances, cash flow is huge. Continually going back through cash flow. Where's the money coming from? Where's it going? When's it coming back in again? That's just a regular thing. Personal budgets and stuff like that. I don't have any personal budgets. But yeah, the business side of it, it's continual cash flow management.
Okay. Would you ever think about mentoring? Would love to meet you.
100%. Yeah. No, it's something I want to do when I have or when I can make more time down the track. At the moment,
let's talk about
got to mentor myself.
Yeah, where we're going to go, where you're going to go now, and then we can wrap that up there. So, what things are you thinking about doing? Like in terms of like mentoring, would you want to become a public speaker one day, or would you just do one-on-one? Or
I'd like to do one-on-one. If somebody thought I could add value doing some sort of speaking, then I'd definitely look at it. Not from a monetary or financial perspective, haven't got much of an interest in that. And the same with the mentoring. Like, I'm not going to do a $50 a month and mentor anyone. If I feel a connection with somebody and think I can add value, then like I'd really like to help people that out like that. So something I want to do down the track, definitely.
Would you consider, like you've seen my profile is more like making videos.
Yeah, definitely.
Like really like content value driven. Would you ever consider going down that path?
I mean, somewhat. Like sometimes I put some effort into a caption and I feel like people get some value out of that. But as far as like consistent content production, I'd prefer to do something more intimate and personalized.
Okay. Would you be open to potentially becoming a media figure one day, like going into
a media figure?
I don't know, like Tim Gurner, for example.
Oh, yeah,
he's more in the face. Well, that's what I mean. Like a property developer who's more in the media rather than behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Would you like ever? Because like he'll comment on certain like things, like government wise and
yeah. Oh, some of these big guys, like their PR is huge. Yeah, there's a lot of paid PR, and that's something that I've been encouraged to do as well. I'm at that point in my career where it will help my business development to be noticed by local planners and lobbyists and stuff like that. It's just so far out of my comfort zone at the moment, but it's definitely it's a step for me. Even this today is a step in the right direction of some sort of publicity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone who wants to like ask you questions, they feel free to send you a DM.
No, what?
No.
Of course, man. Of course. Anyone. Yeah, always happy to chat.
Yeah, very approachable. I know.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, can't always make. If people want to catch up sometimes, and I can't always make time for that, but I will always respond to a DM. Yeah.
Okay. What kind of people do you, if anyone is watching, knows someone or is potentially watching, what kind of people do you guys, and this is from like, I'm talking from a business perspective, what kind of people do you guys work with that you'd be open to having meetings with? And I know like investors are one aspect, but like tell me just a bit more detail.
Yeah, definitely equity partners. It's something that more funds for development companies is always critical.
Do you guys have a requirement, like someone has to have like X amount of like a net worth or something like that?
Oh, not so much a net worth, but it's like seven figure minimum requirement
to invest.
Yeah. To do something like that. It'll be really scrutinized by me. It's more of a partnership than it is an investment. So. There has to be a connection there. Yeah. And some sort of a relationship for that to work. So always exploring that.
Yeah. If someone's watching who is that person or knows someone in that field that we're like subject to there being like a good partnership.
Yeah.
You guys be open to?
Oh, of course.
Talking about.
Yeah. Happy to chat to anyone.
Joint ventures. JVs,
Like joint ventures. Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Beautiful. I think we're going to wrap it up there.
We made it.
Oh, man, we made it. And I think this is the longest podcast I've done, and I enjoyed every single minute of it. I want to thank you so much, man, not just for coming onto the show, but for just being you and staying yourself throughout the entire journey when I'm sure that there's a lot of things as well that you didn't even touch on, a lot of downtimes as well that not a lot of people would actually know that you've been through and you've overcame. That could have made you a better could have made you someone who's not like open to like, always help and you stay true to yourself. So thank you for pretty much being like mentoring me as well. Like I take your advice all the time, and sometimes I send you a voice message like, "Man, we got to go hunting."
That's the highlight of my week when I get one of those.
Yeah. So I want to thank you guys. Make sure that you head over to Oscar's Instagram account at Oscar Ledlin and chuck him a follow and support all the content that he does. And if you know anyone that you could potentially connect him with where there could be some business, then go ahead and do that. That's it from me. I love you all.
You're a legend, Leo.
Final words?
Thank you for having me, brother. It's been a pleasure.
All right. Take care, guys. Bye.